I am a Sikdar Mehedi Hasan. Today I want to share an incident that took place in my own area, Panighata, a region in Gangarampur, Union of Magura district. The event happened at about 20 years ago and involved the daughter of one of my elder sisters. On the night the girl was born, a terrifying atmosphere took over. The sound of crickets echoed all around, followed by the roar of thunder and a storm so fierce that trees seemed to break apart. The whole environment felt as if it had turned into a raging ocean. Then suddenly a piercing scream was heard. It was the cry of a newborn baby. What was strange was that from the moment she was born, the baby kept staring at the window and laughing endlessly. Being from a village, people quickly realized that something unusual was happening. They started reciting prayers and blowing them onto the child. As soon as they did this, the baby began to cry. But then, from behind the house, a chilling louder echoed. A voice spoke saying, "Give us your baby. We have no children of our own, so we will take her away when she grows up." That night, many strange things occurred. However, as soon as the Fajr call to prayers has heard, everything suddenly fell silent and the environment returned to normal. From the day of her birth, the girl exhibited many unusual traits. She learned to walk at an unnaturally early age, and she would constantly talk to someone unseen. She played with things that seemed impossible for her to process. Then, one evening, she suddenly went missing from the house. Her parents searched everywhere, but she was now here to be found. The entire family was in tears, fearing the worst. At the moment, a tall man wearing a long robe appeared from now here. His body emitted a deafening fragrance, one so indescribable that words could not do it justice. He spoke. "The evil Jinn haven't taken your daughter. They have no children of their own, so they have taken her to their home. Do not worry, you will find her on your bed tomorrow morning." Despite his reassurance, the girl's parents were restless with worry. They stayed awake the entire night. But eventually, exhaustion overtook them. Just before dawn, the girl's mother suddenly heard the sound of crying. She hurriedly got up and saw her daughter lying on the bed, sobbing. At that very moment, the same area laughter echoed again. "We will take her away forever," the voice declared. The mother screamed in terror, and the rest of the family rushed into the room. But there the girl was, lying on the bed as if she had never left. By the time the mysterious man's laughter gradually faded away, the next evening, the same robed man returned. He performed a ritual inside their house, summoning the jinn who had taken an interest in their daughter. After a long negotiation, the jinn finally agreed to leave. However, before departing, they left behind a chilling warning. "When your daughter turns 10 to 15 years old, we will return." Life went back to normal and everything seemed fine. But just as the girl turned 11 or 12, a new danger emerged. He was a student at a local school in the area, which was surrounded by dense forest and winding, narrow paths. Walking alone always filled area. Yes, if unseen eyes were watching from the shadows. There was an unsettling presence in the air, as if something unknown lurked nearby, waiting. Despite growing up in such a place, the girl was fearless. Unlike others, she had no hesitation in running freely through the village, showing no sign of fear. Then, no fateful afternoon, while she was returning home from school, something terrifying happened. It was around midday and the entire area was eerily silent. The atmosphere was heavy and an overwhelming stillness surrounded her. This incident happened at about 20 years ago, during a time when the place was even more isolated, covered in thick forest. Human settlement were scarce, making it a truly desolate region. Even today, if someone visits this place, they will find it densely packed with trees and wildness. So, one can only imagine how much more hunting and ominous it must have been on that day. As the girl walked along the familiar path, she could hear the creeping of birds echoing through the dense forest. The sky was covered in thick dark clouds, signaling the arrival of a fierce storm. The dimly lit surrounding and the air silent added to the unsettling atmosphere. As she neared a bamboo grove along with winding road, something unexpected happened. A sudden splash of water poured down from the bamboo leaves above, drenching her. Being young and carefree, she didn't think much of it. Instead, she gigged and enjoyed the unexpected shower, counting on her way home. She didn't consider it unusual and never mentioned it to anyone in her family. The day passed as usual, but as the night deepened, something terrifying began to unfold. The silence of the night was broken only by the relentless creeping of crickets, making the darkness feel even more sinister. Then, out of nowhere, a horrifying scream echoed through their house, followed by the sorrowful sound of someone crying. The girl's mother, startled by the eerie wailing, abruptly woke up. The chilling sound was coming from her daughter's room, who could be crying so pitifully at this hour. Filled with concern, she hurried to her daughter's room, only to find something deeply unsettling. Her daughter was sitting upright on the bed, whispering to someone unseen. Tears streamed down her face as she spoke in a sorrowful tone, as if in deep distress. A shiver ran down her mother's spine. Trembling, she called out, "Who are you talking to at this hour?" Suddenly, everything fell silent. The room, which had moments ago been filled with whispers and cries, became eerily still. Without waiting for an answer, the mother grabbed her daughter's hand and took her to sleep by her side, unwilling to leave her alone for the rest of the night. Day after day, the girl continued attending school, but strange occurrences followed her however she went. She never spoke to anyone, always keeping to herself. Often, she would whisper under her breath as if talking to an unseen presence. Her classmates noticed her peculiar behavior. She seemed to be playing with someone invisible, responding to unheard voice that appeared to command her to do things. Her disheveled hair remained oiled and untamed, giving her an air reverence. Anyone who saw her felt an inexplicable fear, as if something sinister had taken hold of her. No one dared to approach her, let alone speak to her. At night, the sorrowful cries continued to fill the air. A deep, terrifying male voice echoed in their home, declaring, "I will take your daughter." No one can save her from me. Each time her family attempted to intervene, a shadow figure would appear at a distance, only to vanish the moment they approached, desperate for help. Her mother sought the assistance of a spiritual healer. The healer inspected the girl and declared that an evil spirit had possessed her. He provided blessed water and oil, instructing the family to use them on the girl. However, instead of improving, her condition worsened. Soon after, the girl began clawing at her own face, leaving deep, bloody scratches. Her mother was overcome with despair. That night, the chilling voice returned, mocking them. No healer can save your daughter. She belongs to me. I will take her. Panicked, they called the Kobiras once more. This time he performed a ritual to spiritually seal their home and the girl's body, giving them a protective talisman. Yet the sorrowful wailing never ceased. It seemed to come from the girl's own room. But whenever someone checked, nothing was there. Each time her wounds began to heal, fresh scratches would repair, as his unseen hands were turning her all over again. No matter how much they treated her injuries, new wounds would form, deep and painful. Her behavior grew even more disturbing during the daytime. She would lie completely still in the family ponds for hours, flirting with any visible support. Her entire body would remain submerged, unspared for her nose, allowing her to breathe. Yet she suffered no harm. When her family finally pulled her out of the water, she seemed unaffected as if nothing unusual had happened. Day after day, the horrifying experience continued. When relatives visited, the girl would show them her fresh wounds, and if silently crying out for help from a torment only she could be. She would tell everyone that one day they would take her away. One day the girl's mother thought to herself, how long can this go on? It was time to take her to a good healer. As she had thought, she talked to a well-known healer. The healer asked her to bring the girl to this place. The healer performed a ritual on the girl, making her possessed by a jinn. Then the healer asked the jinn why he was torturing the girl. The jinn responded, saying that it wanted to take her with it, and if the healer interfered, it would punish the girl even more severely. The healer then closed the girl's body, gave her a talisman and some blessed water. For some time things got better. The girl's wounds healed, and the sign of torment began to fade. Years passed, and everything seemed fine. However, one day it was noticed that the talisman and the healer had given her was no longer with her. That night, when her mother checked on her, she found deep, sharp cuts on the girl's abdomen, as if something had stabbed her. The girl's body was drenched in blood. She was rushed to the hospital and treated, and after a while, she recovered. However, the same thing started happening again. Sharp cuts appeared on the same spot. The mother, unable to understand what was going on, tried several healers, but none could cure her daughter. One night, the man in the long robe appeared again. The mother, crying, begged him to help her daughter. The man arrived and summoned the jinn. He asked them to leave the girl, but they refused. The man then captured them in a bottle and left with them. Afterward, The girl became healthy and continued her life peacefully. However, small strange incidents still happen now and then. To share your own paranormal experience with others, please write and send us your story in the comments or record an audio clip and send it. Thank you for staying with us.